Here's the problem with covering the DJI Mini 6 Pro right now. The drone doesn't exist yet, not officially, not even close. DJI hasn't announced it, hasn't teased it, and hasn't filed anything that confirms it's coming under that name. And yet if you search for it, you'll find dozens of videos claiming confirmed specs, official first looks, and leaked prices. Most of that content is fabricated. That's not a small detail. It's the starting point for an honest breakdown of what we actually know, what's genuinely rumored from credible sources, and what has been manufactured by AI to get clicks. So that's what this video is. I'm going through every major rumor floating around this drone: stacked sensor, 6K, variable aperture, battery, tracking, transmission, and I'm telling you clearly which ones come from sources worth trusting, which ones are physically plausible, and which ones you should ignore entirely. Why the Mini 6 Pro leak cycle is broken. There is no DJI Mini 6 Pro. Not yet. Here's the timeline context. The Mini 5 Pro launched in September 2025. DJI's Compact Pro line has followed a roughly 2-year cycle: Mini 3 Pro in May 2022, Mini 4 Pro in September 2023, Mini 5 Pro in September 2025. Project that cadence forward and the Mini 6 Pro, if it uses that name at all, lands in late 2027, not 2026. That's the first thing to understand. We are very likely more than a year away from this product. The second thing, the leak content circulating right now is significantly noisier than previous Mini cycles. Multiple credible drone tracking sources have specifically flagged that AI-generated videos are populating search results with fabricated specifications: 8K video, exact pricing, confirmed release dates, none of which trace back to any legitimate hardware source. If you've seen a video claiming the Mini 6 Pro will shoot 8K, that claim has no credible sourcing. No current consumer drone shoots true 8K. The processing demands alone make it implausible on a sub-249 gram body. That context matters for everything that follows. What I'm working from are cross-referenced supply chain reports, credible leakers with established track records, specifically Jasper Ellens via Drone XL, who has consistently sourced hardware-level information accurately ahead of DJI launches, and the technical analysis of what's physically achievable under the 249-gram weight ceiling. Everything speculative will be labeled as such. The specs, here's the engineering challenge DJI is actually facing. The Mini 5 Pro was not a perfect launch. Multiple users reported louder than expected motor noise compared to the Mini 3 Pro. Battery life in real-world use didn't match advertised figures by a margin some found disappointing, and while the image quality is strong, the gap over the Mini 4 Pro wasn't as dramatic as some expected given the weight. That gives DJI a specific set of problems to fix, not just features to add. The Mini 6 Pro, whenever it arrives, needs to address noise, real-world battery performance, and a more meaningful imaging jump, not just pile-on resolution numbers. DJI also has a product positioning problem. The Lido X1, which launched in April 2026, is being positioned in some markets as the practical successor to the budget to mid-tier of the Mini line. The Mini 6 Pro, if it arrives, needs to be clearly a step above it. Enough of a step to justify a higher price without blurring into Air 3S territory. DJI has put itself in a tight spot, and the rumored direction of the Mini 6 Pro suggests they know it. The stacked sensor, the rumor worth taking seriously. The one hardware rumor that has the most consistent sourcing across credible channels is this: a stacked CMOS sensor design on the same 1-inch sensor size the Mini 5 Pro uses. Here's what that actually means, because it's worth explaining properly. In a standard sensor, the photosensitive pixels sit on the same layer as the processing circuitry. That creates a bottleneck. The chip can only read data as fast as it can physically move it sideways across that shared layer. A stacked sensor puts the processing layer directly underneath the pixel layer. Data moves vertically instead of horizontally. The result is a sensor that reads information dramatically faster. The practical outcome for drone footage: less rolling shutter. If you've ever flown past something moving fast, or panned quickly during a reveal shot, and seen straight lines start to bend or warp in the footage, that's rolling shutter. It's one of the most persistent image quality issues on compact drone cameras, and it gets worse the faster you move. A well-implemented stacked sensor compresses that problem significantly. This matters more for drone footage than it does for most other camera types, because drones are almost always moving. A static camera on a tripod doesn't generate rolling shutter. A drone doing a fast lateral reveal Definitely does. The stacked sensor is the kind of upgrade that changes how footage looks in motion, rather than how it looks in a static comparison shot. The source confidence on this one is higher than any other spec in this video. Multiple independent supply chain reports point in the same direction. DJI has already implemented stacked sensor designs in other products. The engineering path is proven. I'd treat this as probable, not just possible. 6K is the number getting the most headlines. It also carries the most skepticism. The appeal is clear. Shooting at 6K gives you a meaningful buffer for post-production. Punch in during editing to reframe a shot, apply digital stabilization more aggressively, and still deliver a clean 4K export. Particularly for solo creators who can't reshoot a missed frame, that buffer has real value. The thermal problem is harder to talk around. A sub 249 gram body has almost no room for active cooling. The stacked sensor generates more heat than a standard design because the processing layer is directly underneath the pixels with no separation. 6K at 60 frames per second creates significant processing load. Put those two things together in a body under the weight of a can of soda and you get a thermal management problem that most drone-sized heat dissipation solutions can't address. The more credible middle ground being discussed in engineering adjacent coverage, unlimited 6K at 30 FPS, with 6K 60 available in timed bursts before the drone throttles itself to avoid overheating. Even that would represent the biggest imaging jump the Mini line has seen in a generation, just not the unlimited 6K 60 that some coverage implies. I'd treat 6K 30 as plausible, 6K 60 unlimited as unlikely without a meaningful thermal innovation we haven't seen evidence of yet. Variable aperture, the feature that changes how you actually shoot. If you asked working drone pilots which single feature would most change their day-to-day workflow, variable aperture would be the most common answer. Right now, if the light shifts while you're in the air, you have two options. Come back down, swap ND filters for the new conditions, and go back up, burning time and possibly missing the shot. Or accept the exposure problem and try to fix it in post, with limited success. Variable aperture removes that entirely. Multiple credible leak sources point to the Mini 6 Pro carrying a mechanical aperture that adjusts from roughly f1.7 to f11 in flight, with no landing required. That range covers everything from low-light situations where you want maximum light intake at f1.7 to bright midday conditions where f11 controls your exposure without requiring neutral density filters. This feature currently exists on drones that cost 2 to 3 times the Mini Pro price point. The engineering challenge of fitting a mechanical aperture mechanism into a sub 249 gram body is real. It adds components, adds weight, adds complexity. But the rumor has appeared consistently enough across credible sources that it's worth treating seriously. DJI has been miniaturizing mechanisms that previously required larger form factors repeatedly over the past several years. If this one lands, it's the upgrade that makes the Mini 6 Pro a meaningfully different product rather than an incremental refresh. Not because of what it does on a spec sheet, because of how it changes a real-world shoot. Flight time is the metric that generates the most passionate comment section debates, and the Mini 6 Pro rumors are no exception. Some sources have cited 60 minutes of flight time. That number requires significant skepticism. The Mini 5 Pro's standard battery delivers real-world flight times well below its advertised ceiling for most users. A 60-minute claim on a heavier, more power-hungry drone with a stacked sensor and additional processing load would require a battery chemistry improvement dramatic enough to offset every other power draw increase. More conservative estimates from credible analysis land closer to 38 to 42 minutes under normal flying conditions, a real and meaningful improvement over the Mini 5 Pro, but not the dramatic doubling some headlines suggest. The rumored mechanism for that improvement, silicon anode battery cells. This is where the science becomes genuinely interesting. Silicon anode chemistry delivers higher energy density than the lithium polymer cells currently used in DJI's drone batteries. It's not theoretical. This chemistry has already appeared in premium smartphones and laptops. Consumer electronics miniaturization has a history of adopting battery advances from adjacent industries, and drones are a natural next step. There's a legitimate cold weather caveat. Silicon anode cells have historically performed less consistently in low temperatures compared to standard LiPo chemistry. How DJI manages winter flying performance, whether through thermal management, chemistry tuning, or firmware compensation, will be one of the more meaningful real-world tests once the drone ships. A lighter carbon fiber reinforced airframe is also mentioned in multiple leak sources as contributing to the flight time improvement, by reducing the total weight the motors have to keep airborne and improving wind resistance simultaneously. The honest summary: a real improvement in flight time is credible and likely. Whether the top end of the leaked numbers holds up depends on variables we won't know until someone actually flies the production hardware. Predictive tracking: a real problem, a real rumored solution. Predictive tracking sounds like marketing language. It's actually a specific engineering problem with a specific solution. Current active track reacts to where a subject is. If you disappear behind a tree for 2 seconds, the system loses the lock, searches for you when you reappear, and produces a clip with a gap or a jarring reacquisition moment. For solo creators, which is a large portion of the Mini Pro audience, this is one of the most consistent frustrations with even the best current tracking systems. Predictive tracking uses motion data to estimate where a subject is likely to be, rather than only responding to where they currently are. If the system knows you've been moving left at a consistent speed, it holds that trajectory assumption during the brief moment you're obscured, rather than freezing or searching. When you reappear, the reacquisition is smoother because the camera is already roughly where it needs to be. The scenarios where this changes outcomes are specific: mountain biking through trees, trail running, skiing, any environment where brief obstructions are unavoidable. For creators who shoot primarily in open environments, the difference would be minimal. For creators who regularly deal with partial obstructions, which is most outdoor content creation in real conditions, this is a meaningful functional improvement. This one is rumored from multiple sources with some consistency. I treat it as plausible but unverified. Transmission and obstacle avoidance: 2 shorter sections worth covering together. Transmission leaks point toward 04 plus, or possibly an early 05 implementation. The practical difference for most flying isn't about maximum range, it's about reliability in signal-dense environments. Cities, events, popular parks, anywhere with heavy Wi-Fi and Bluetooth interference causes more dropped connections on current 04 hardware than raw distance ever does. A more resilient signal protocol means fewer frozen video feeds at the moment you need a clean live view. That's genuinely useful. Obstacle avoidance leaks point toward laser-assisted depth sensing specifically for low-light conditions. This addresses a real limitation. Vision-based obstacle avoidance systems depend on ambient light, and they degrade substantially as conditions darken. LiDAR appeared on the Lido X1 and the Neo 2 at significantly lower price points than the Mini Pro, so the technology at this tier is proven. The rumored implementation on the Mini 6 Pro would extend laser-assisted sensing beyond just forward-facing, which would be a meaningful upgrade for low-light flight safety. Neither of these is the headline feature. Both would contribute quietly to a drone that's more reliable to fly day-to-day, which is ultimately what matters more than any headline spec. The question that has nothing to do with specs. Now, the part of this story that could make every rumored spec irrelevant, depending on where you live. DJI was added to the FCC's Covered List in December 2025. That decision means new DJI products cannot receive FCC authorization through normal channels, which is required for legal sale in the United States. The Mini 5 Pro made it through before the cutoff. The Lido 1 and X1 appear to have cleared FCC paperwork, but DJI has chosen not to push them through US retail regardless. The Osmo Pocket 4 Pro has no FCC registration. The pattern being established is that even when products technically clear the regulatory hurdle, DJI is not actively pursuing US distribution. For the Mini 6 Pro, a product that almost certainly won't arrive before late 2026 at the earliest, likely 2027, the US availability question is genuinely unanswered and not resolvable from current information. This matters more than it might sound. The Mini Pro line's audience has historically skewed heavily toward the US and Western Europe. If a significant portion of that audience can't buy the product through normal channels, no warranty, no support structure, gray market import only, that changes the competitive dynamics considerably. Autel Robotics, which is positioning itself explicitly as a domestic-friendly alternative in the US market, stands to benefit directly if this situation continues. There's also the product name question worth raising. Given that DJI launched the Lido series to fill the space previously occupied by the budget Mini line, and given the regulatory complications with launching under the DJI brand in the US, it's at least worth considering whether the successor to the Mini 5 Pro arrives under a different name entirely. Not confirmed. but not an unreasonable thing to watch for. When, how much, and what to do now, based on DJI's established release cadence, the most credible window for a Mini 6 Pro, or whatever DJI calls its next compact pro drone, is late 2026, at the absolute earliest, with 2027 being more consistent with historical patterns. Pricing projections cluster around $999 for a standard configuration, with Fly More combo pricing in the $1,299 to $1,499 range, depending on what hardware ships. These are educated estimates, not confirmed figures. The trade-in program some sources mention, targeting Mini 5 Pro owners specifically, makes logical sense given the audience overlap, but has no confirmed details yet. Here's the honest answer to the question of what to do right now. If you need a drone today, the Mini 5 Pro is an excellent product that has been validated in the field across a year of real-world use. The issues at launch, motor noise, battery life, are documented and manageable. If you're outside the US and can buy it without complications, it's a strong current option. If you're willing to wait and you're not in the US, the Mini 6 Pro, when it arrives, is shaping up to be a meaningful hardware upgrade if the stacked sensor and variable aperture both ship as rumored. Waiting until the end of 2026 to reassess is a reasonable position. If you're in the US, your options are the Mini 5 Pro through third-party retailers who have stocked it, or the Lito series if you're starting from scratch at a lower budget. What happens with Mini 6 Pro US availability is genuinely unknowable from current information. The leaks paint a specific picture of what DJI is working toward. Not all of it will survive contact with the 249-gram weight ceiling and a manufacturing cost target. But the direction, stacked sensor, variable aperture, better battery chemistry, predictive tracking, is credible enough to watch closely. When something real surfaces, this channel will cover it. No AI-generated spec lists, no fabricated release dates, just what the actual information means. Something to think about.